Hey guys, this is gonna be the 1 week review of this Balisong trainer. This isn't actually branded one, but as you can see it looks like this, and you've probably seen it before. It's like a really common, and you can get this from anywhere from $1 to $10. Well, the first problem I had on the first day was, well, you're gonna get problems with this because it's really cheap, of course, but I feel like once you've sorted out those problems, it's pretty good. So the first problem I had was the screw came out of one of these on the handle, which was also the latch handle, and of course it came apart, like this part here. So I had to duct tape it around, and for maybe 3 or 4 days I had problems trying to figure out ways to duct tape it because it kept ripping. And then I also needed space down here for the knife to fit in. So yeah, and then I finally got away. Like, I just put duct tape and then a layer of sticky tape over there, cut out a little piece there so this latch can go there freely. And yeah, that held it up pretty well. And then for this side, pretty much same thing, except this was covered in duct tape too, but again needed space for the latch. So yeah, and then that just ended up ripping, but I reckon the screw's not going to come out unless that duct tape's gone, because that's keeping it in, and that's doing a pretty good job. And then this was, like, once I got those problems out of the way, that was about the 4 or 5 day mark, or probably the 4-day mark. And then these pins here that keep this knife from wobbling around, as you can see here, otherwise if that wasn't there it would just wobble around all the time, like it would just go bent. And every time I dropped it, by the way, this is more sensitive to drops than I had thought. So when I dropped it, this pin came out, and I kept like hammering it in, and it worked for a couple of days, and then it just loosens up again. I still have that problem, but right now it's pretty tough in there, so I'd suggest you try not to. I mean, you can drop it like on carpet if you practice on tricks, but like try not to drop it like when you're standing up on tiles or a hard surface, because stuff may fall out, you know. As far as the inside pin, this one's stayed in the whole time so far. These screws seems to have loosened up, and tightening it, like, it does like tighten, but it doesn't make any difference for some reason, but that's fine. I was just scared of the handles falling off, but people say it's fine. So you can see it sort of wobbles here a little bit, and then you go here, and then look how much it wobbles there. And that's due to these pins, but tightening it doesn't help. That's fine. Every now and then, like, the latch gets stuck behind it. That's annoying. That's a downside. But yeah. I don't know what else to say. Oh yes, that's it. Around 3 days, 2 days, 3 days probably, I had to put oil in this because it kept squeaking. And yeah, it was pretty annoying, so I put oil inside this part here, and then dry it off around it, and then yeah, it was fine after that. I had to do that twice, like after 3 days I had to do it, and then a couple days later I had to oil it again, and that's fine. Yeah, I like the design here. Helps you know that that's the handle that would have cut you, even though this pretty much defines whether it would cut you, because it goes in that spot here. But that's pretty much all the problems I've had with this one. Other than that, everything's been pretty good. I mean, yeah. Like, once you get all those problems out of the way, it's really good. It's fun to flip. And then, like, if you don't want all these problems, I saw another one on eBay, which all the pins and screws, they weren't, like, you know, exposed, so there was, like, the metal was covering them, so there must have been, like, under the metal or something, because they would have had to have screws. Yeah, and that one looked fine, and it also had a spring latch, so when you flick it up, it would just spring open. And oh yeah, this leads me to the last problem, because that would fix the problem that I have now. Okay, so this rubber thing here, right? Not only does it keep it tighter on this bit here, so it doesn't fling apart, without it, I'll just take it off for you guys. So without it, when you do a trick and you're closing, the latch gets in the way of the blade, and then you can't close it, and then you'd have to flick it out yourself. So that's pretty annoying, because that happens quite often. So to prevent that, you put this little rubber piece on, and yeah, and get it over, which can be a little bit annoying to adjust, but this time I actually got it really quickly. Usually takes about a minute or two to get it where I want it to be. Well, not a minute or two, sorry. Maybe a minute at the max. Okay, so see that fixes the problem. I didn't come up with that idea. I saw another YouTuber come up with it. But everything else I sort of had to deal with on my own. So if you are looking into getting this one, maybe because you like the design or whatever, because of the price, then yeah, these are the things I had to do to get it decent, so parts didn't fall out. And see how it doesn't really latch on quite tight? Sorry if you can't see. Yeah, you can see. See how it just falls out? Sometimes it does that for some reason. I can't figure it out. Like, it's loose, and then later on it fits on perfectly, and it won't, when I shake it, it won't come off. Yeah, that's okay. I don't really need that. I don't really care about closing it that much. Like, you don't really need to. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say so far for 1 week. I think I've faced pretty much all the problems I'll have to face, but we don't know that. I think eventually I might have a problem with these screws. And yeah, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.